Hey everybody, it's JT from Vapestars.net here. Going to do a quick breakdown of the AIOS TD Atomizer. It is an atomizer threaded, made to fit the Chi-U or Chi-U clone. Fits a couple different things. I think the King mechanical mod fits the Astro clone, and a few random things here and there I haven't verified. So do your information before you run out and buy these. Make sure you have a mod that it will work on. I'm going to have a quick vape and we'll dig into this thing. Okay. So, made by H Cigar. Comes in a pretty little box there. And this is what you have. And obviously it's not standard 510 at the bottom. You see that immediately. For the sake of this video, I will have it on a small tube, so it will sit upright when I cannot be holding it. And there it is, in all its glory. Get your drip tip hole, bottom contact there, adjustable. That bottom screw, I guess I should have shown you that first. If you're familiar with the Chi or the Chi clone, then you're kind of familiar with this kind of setup. So now I will disassemble it piece by piece. First of all, you would take this top small cap off. You will set that maybe right there. Okay, and then this outer section comes off, just unscrews, big sleeve. We'll put that right there. And then you see this thing, which is odd because, like some people, when they purchased this, they were under the impression that it was a Genesis style tank, Genesis style atomizer. Take that sleeve off and this does not look familiar. So we'll get to that in a little while, but this centerpiece comes out, and that is actually your tank, your juice holder for when you're using it in tank mode. We'll put that right there. Now we're starting to look like something familiar. You see a atomizer deck down in there. At this point, again, there you go. This comes off below this ring here and really exposes that atomizer deck and your positive and negative post. This piece that's got the airflow control ring on it, that is how you adjust more airflow, less airflow, exposing or covering up those three holes right there. Okay, again, looks like a good place right there. So now we've got something that looks kind of familiar, you know, a two-post dripping atomizer. You'll notice a small hole in the center of the two posts, insulated. Okay, I didn't know what that was at first. At this point, I will let you know that if your goal is to build a dripping atomizer out of this, go right ahead. You can do whatever kind of dripping coil, wick setup you enjoy. Something like that will work just perfect. One end of the wire there, one end of the wire there, and you're good to go. For dripping, you will take this after you've built your coil, put the airflow control and threaded ring back on. So that's back on. You've got your coil built down in there, and then you just take that top small section that's got your drip tip adapter in it, okay, and that simply goes on, and you are done. A drip tip in there, throw it on a mod, and you're good to go. Pretty cool little kind of pretty much a hybrid dripper you will have on a mod. But that is fairly self-explanatory to people who already build on drippers, so we're going to skip that. We're not going to spend too much time on that. My main focus is to explain to the best of my knowledge and my ability how to set this up in tank mode, because, as I said, it's not a Genesis style. There are plenty atomizers out there that I have not used, I have not seen, that I'm unaware of, but it is definitely different than any other tank style atomizer or configuration that I have ever used. I'm gonna have another vape. And by the way, if you watch my videos, you know I'm not super fancy. Ignore the dirty fingernails. That's just how I roll. I've been working with juice and atomizers and coils, so it's all good. Okay. So, you've got an atomizer deck. What in the world do you do to build this into a tank? This does not look like an RSST, does not look like any other tank atomizer that I have. Might be what you're saying. Well, you are right, because it is nothing like a Genesis style atomizer. See this little lid there? This is your tank section. This comes off and exposes the tank. Oh, you see, what is that? There's a hole down in the center. Yes, there is. Goes straight through to the bottom. Okay. Now, when I first understood how to build this, it really kind of freaked me out. I wasn't sure that I would be able to, was just unfamiliar with it, very scary. I'll tell you right now, I'm no expert builder, but I got this right on my first try. But do not feel bad if it takes you more than that. I want to stress, take your time. Okay, now, so far I have only experimented building this with a mesh wick. Okay, and what you're going to do, in essence, I'm going to leave this part off for now, because I want you to see this. This is going to be held above there. Okay, your mesh wick is going to go inside of that hole, and you are going to build a vertical coil. The bottom side of your wick is going to go in that insulated hole right there. Okay, so that's something like what's going to happen there. Gravity helps, and that's nice, but it will deliver juice down that wick to your coil, which will be wrapped around that. If you enjoy and you are fine with mesh wicks, go ahead, wrap your resistance wire right around this. Let's take it out of that tank for now. Wrap your coil around this wick. I might be off camera here for a second. I want to get this in the insulated hole. That's what she said. Okay, there you go. That's basically what you have. You'll wrap your coil, one end here, and you're good to go. When you're ready to run it in the tank, we'll just carefully feed that in there. Okay? This piece, again, the airflow control part, we'll go down over that. Screw down. Just imagine that screwed down tight. You see what we've got going on in there. The wick and coil that you've already built and installed is exposed there. Now is when you would take your tank, feed that mesh wick through there carefully, and then carefully, gently, just thread it on. Obviously I'm on camera, it's going to be hard. So we thread it on very slowly. And that's basically it. It's an odd design, but honestly it kind of makes sense. And I don't know if you can see in there, you see that mesh wick is sticking up through that hole. That's where all your juice is going to be. Okay, now I had to Vapestars this. I had to change it up a little bit. And I didn't have to, but I just don't like vaping on mesh. I don't like my coils heating up mesh. just me. Okay, so I made an echo wool sleeve with a coil wrapped around it. Okay, that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to show you really quick. Okay, and that's basically cut a piece of echo wool. I like to run a screwdriver or a drill bit through it, wrap my coil, and I'm ready to go. What I will then do, if you decide to build this style, what I've found works the best is to leave it on the screwdriver or whatever you have it on to keep the shape, stuff like that. That's what I'll do. I'll run it on down. Okay? And then I would simply connect my wires. I need to run those screws out a little bit. This is on camera, so this, I'm trying to keep everything nice and visible. It'll be a little bit neater or messier when you do it, but that's okay. You do your thing. Okay? So you can kind of see the idea. I'm going to try to reinstall this screwdriver. I feel like it helps keep everything in place. And it's lined up again with that insulated hole down there. And if I'm lucky, it's just going to sit there. And now basically, however works for you, connect. This thing's not cooperating that well. I'll try to go ahead and run my wick through there. Okay, that might work. But either way, okay, you get the idea what we're doing now. This is just a sleeve. So the juice will run down this wick, and the echo wool will act as a barrier between my coil and the mesh, and deliver sweet, sweet juice to be vaporized by me. Okay, it's a lot easier with a screwdriver or something of the sort through there, but whatever style works for you is what works for you. Okay, again, not the cleanest, but it's on camera and it's hard to worry about perfection while I am trying to illustrate some things. Basically, that's the build I use on the AIOS TD clone in tank mode. I'm sure that it is possible, quite possible, to build using all cotton, something of that sort. That's gotten very popular. I actually use a lot of cotton in builds these days. I'm quite sure it's possible to do that. You would, basically just same thing. You just want to feed some cotton up through the bottom of that tank. And, get a coil going on down here at the base. Keep in mind that you will not be able to throw this on a standard ohm reader, okay? It's not a 510 connection. I suggest having a multimeter around. Oh, I'm going to try to get mine. And just to be clear, that's what that is. And you can test your points here. Check your resistance. I do not recommend ever firing any coil that has not been checked. If you are to the point where you are a building rock star and you know the resistance, you know how many wraps on what diameter wick will give you what, then that's awesome. You do your thing. If you cannot be confident and sure of the resistance of your build, you need to be testing it. That's all there is to it. At this point, if you're watching this tutorial, you are familiar with building coils. So at this point, you know what to do. You will put this on your mod, check for hot spots. Anyway, so that's my basic build. So at this point, I am going to replace the airflow control section. As I said earlier, I would, at this point also, I would kind of wet that wick and coil up just a little bit to get it primed. But now you want to get your wick lined up in your tank hole. Screw this on down. Okay, screw it on down. You will fill that with juice. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Replace the top of that tank. Just a word to the wise. As you're going to refill this tank, hold on to the section while you're unscrewing that lid. It's kind of easy to unscrew the whole tank. I don't think you'll make a big mess, but you could damage your coil down there, taking it off quickly. So, outer sleeve drops on, screws on, and your top cap. Atomizer top cap goes on, screws on, and there you have it. And at that point, slap a drip tip on it and have a vape. That is my style. Basically, I want to kind of show you again. Basically, what we've done here is we've built a vertical coil, and the tank just has a hole in it. Your wick goes through it, and gravity helps. It delivers juice to your coil and vaporizes it. And there you go. I am very pleased with the AIOS clone. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen that I have been a big fan of it, been vaping on it quite a bit. I have not drilled out any air holes. I'm hesitant to do that a lot more lately on anything other than a straight dripping atomizer. I just don't want to damage things. A lot of times these are designed to not leak in certain ways, so I'm leaving this one alone. But that's it. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave comments. There's probably many other styles and many ways to do this better. This is just what I've done and what has worked for me. So let's all have a quick vape. I hope it helps, and let me know. Please comment below, share the video, share future builds that you're working on. You know, help me help you. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.